Hello, everybody out there in Maryland's beautiful 8th Congressional District and beyond. It's Congressman Jamie Raskin appearing to you for my favorite time of the week. It's Local Hero, and we get to salute and interact with the people who are making life in our community so remarkable. Today is Friday, March the 21st. Our local hero is none other than Dr. Sarah Cooley, who is the director, I am proud to say, of NOAA's ocean acidification program. She was terminated as a probationary employee by the Trump administration on February the 27th. She's been reinstated by court order, which means she's getting paid again, although she's not been allowed to return to work, which is a matter of great frustration for her. Before joining NOAA as the ocean acidification director in August of 2024, she was the senior director of climate science at Ocean Conservancy. She's an absolute specialist in the oceans. She's going to be able to tell us about everything that she does in the field, as well as what's taking place with this nightmare with Elon Musk and DOGE. Please welcome my local hero for this week, Dr. Sarah Cooley. And Dr. Sarah Cooley, congratulations to you on being our local hero.
Hello, Congressman. Thank you so much for having me today. And hello, constituents. It's great to see you too.
Well, let's start with this, okay? Tell us, if you would, what your general capsule summary is about ocean acidification and why the work of NOAA is so essential to address this problem.
Ocean acidification is a gradual change in ocean chemistry, and it's caused by atmospheric carbon dioxide. So as carbon dioxide levels rise in the atmosphere, some of that carbon dioxide dissolves into the ocean, and it's shifting conditions in the ocean that surrounds all ocean life. And so that has different effects on different animals. And what we know is that it also acts as a little bit of a chronic stressor. So when you combine acidification with temperature rise or oxygen loss or harmful algal blooms, it can be extra harmful for various species in the ocean. So NOAA's ocean acidification program was charged by Congress, by law, to monitor, study, and really examine, look for solutions to ocean acidification.
So what kind of progress has been made on understanding the process of acidification and then in addressing it?
Since ocean acidification was first really identified and monitored, that was in sort of the early 2000s when the issue was being noticed by chemists, and then when biologists started to say, hey, this is actually having harmful consequences for certain species, especially oysters. Since then, we have a much better handle on exactly how acidification is proceeding through the global oceans. We also know a lot more about how animals are faring. Like I said, we know that acidification is most often a stressor in combination with other things happening in the ocean. And it can vary from region to region and along the coast. So it really calls for regional strategies and regional studies at the same time as these sort of global monitoring efforts.
Yeah. All right. So, and now tell us why you were a probationary employee.
I had only joined NOAA last August. I have worked outside the federal government my entire career. I started out in the research environment at academic institutions, and then I moved into the nonprofit space for a decade. But I wanted to move to NOAA to help continue pushing forward that edge of research and our understanding about how acidification works in combination with other global change. And I was really excited about NOAA's work to do that. And I wanted to help kind of bring energy, bring ideas, and help improve our understanding of ocean change.
There have been these mass sackings of probationary employees in the federal workforce, not just at NOAA, but NIH, defense, state, just across the board.
Right.
And one of them took place on February 14th, the so-called Valentine's Day massacre. You were notified on February 27th.
That's
Were
right.
you told that your work was unsatisfactory, that you were not living up to professional expectations?
No, actually, my letter said that my talents and skills were no longer a fit for the agency, which, seemed pretty ironic considering that it was addressed to a generic NOAA employee. And I had been hired along with my other probationary colleagues for our talents and skills less than a year prior.
And you were notified by by your superior or by a DOGE subordinate to Elon Musk?
I was, let's see, the email that I received was came from Vice Admiral Nancy Hahn, who is NOAA's top career official.
Yeah. Well, look, NOAA is involved in a lot of essential work. It is doing essential work on climate change. The National Weather Service is housed there.
Mhm.
And the idea that we're going to have a healthy seafood commerce or diet without NOAA just seems just fantastical. Like it just cannot happen.
Right.
And yet they are slashing and burning over at NOAA.
Mhm.
And I wonder, when you look at other parts of the agency, what are the cuts and the attacks on the agency that most trouble you?
All of them, frankly. What we're seeing is this sort of widespread hammering away of the specialists that make NOAA so good at what it does. We hear so much and we interact so much with NOAA's weather enterprise. I don't really need to explain that. But NOAA is also involved in ensuring our seafood supply is safe and bountiful. The United States fisheries are among the best managed in the world because of NOAA's hard work to rebuild the fisheries, to make sure that we're only taking as much as they can provide, and then making sure that those fish are actually safe for us to eat. NOAA is also working on looking into the far future with our investigations of the ocean interior and climate change in the atmosphere. And those things allow us to plan ahead. As a member of Congress, just how long in advance we're planning for things when we think about building communities or improving coastal zones or restoring infrastructure. That's a decades to century scale planning process. And us looking into the ocean interior and us looking at the climate is going to help provide that information on the decade to century scale that we need to make sure we're investing our dollars in the right places and on the right things.
Yeah. Well, all of these attacks on these essential functions for our country, for our future, for our oceans, for our weather, are undertaken in the name of fighting waste, fraud, and abuse. You don't seem on the surface to be a very corrupt person or very fraudulent or wasteful person. But how has the workforce, how have your colleagues reacted to this defamatory slur on the integrity and honesty of the work you guys are doing?
It hurts. It hurts to be accused and suspected of being lazy or having ulterior motives. The reason that people want to work for the federal government has to do with putting our expertise to work to serve the public. When we become federal employees, we swear an oath to uphold the Constitution. That's a pledge to the country, and the country is all of us. And so federal employees at NOAA are trying to fulfill that mission and fulfill the dozens of laws that call on NOAA to do various things or provide various information. And that's a perennial charge. That has nothing to do with politics. Nobody's here for the politics. We're here to put the science to work. So it really hurts to be, accused of some pretty awful motives when really we just want to make sure that what we're specialists in can be used for the public good.
Well, that's a beautiful statement in defense of federal workers, in defense of science, and in defense of research. And without NOAA, without the National Weather Service, our forecast is pretty dark and gloomy, I'd say, with a 15% chance of fascism. So thank you, Dr. Sarah Cooley, for everything you've done. And thank you for hanging tough through this period and helping to keep people focused on the essential work that NOAA's doing.
Thanks, Congressman. Thanks for helping us tell our story.
Hang tough, and we'll be in touch. That's Dr. Sarah Cooley, our local hero for this week, Friday, March 21st, 2025, as the struggle to defend American democracy continues.